You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Take a breath. Let go of what just happened. Right now, none of that matters. Let go what just happened. Right now matters. Stoicism isn't about pretending you don't feel anything. It's about feeling everything without letting it shake your foundation. You don't need to move to the mountains, read ancient scrolls, or wake up at 4 a.m. to live this way. You just need to pause. Think a little deeper than usual, and choose your response instead of reacting on autopilot. That's what this space is for. So if you're the kind of person who's always trying to stay grounded in a world that pulls you in every direction, you're in the right place. If that resonates, feel free to subscribe, maybe leave a like, and let's get into it. Step 1. Own your reactions. How many moments in your life have been hijacked? Not by what actually happened, but by what you thought it meant. That driver who cut you off. That message that felt cold or dismissive. That one piece of bad news that seemed to cloud the entire day. We carry the world in our heads, and sometimes that world weighs a lot more than it needs to. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it." That's not just ancient wisdom. It's a wake-up call. He's saying, the thing that upset you, that wasn't the problem. The real issue was the story your mind instantly told you about it. The meaning you assigned to it without pause, without examination. Let's break that down. Someone says something rude to you. In that split second, your brain might jump to, "They're disrespecting me, they think I'm weak, I need to prove something now." And suddenly, your peace is gone, not because of the words, but because you attached your identity to them. You handed over the wheel. Now imagine that same situation. But you pause, you hear the words, and instead of reacting, you observe. You say to yourself, "That's their energy, not mine." Maybe they had a bad morning. Maybe they're projecting something. Maybe it doesn't matter at all. And just like that, you reclaim your calm. You don't bite the hook. That's the power of this step. Own your reactions. You may not choose what happens today. You may not be able to stop the traffic or make everyone kind, or stop the news cycle from throwing chaos your way, but you always get to choose how you meet it. That's the Stoic move. That's where real power begins. Not in controlling the world, but in mastering your response to it. Think about a moment recently when you felt triggered, annoyed, hurt, frustrated. Now ask yourself, what story did I tell myself in that moment? Was it, "They're against me. This always happens to me. I can't handle this"? Or was it, "This is uncomfortable, but I'm still in control. This is just a moment, not a life sentence"? Your inner dialogue can either build walls around you or open doors. And here's the thing. Stoicism isn't saying don't feel anything. It's not cold, it's not robotic. It's saying feel it, but don't let it own you. When you react out of pure emotion, you become a puppet. Your peace is pulled around by everything outside of you. But when you respond with clarity, when you pause, breathe, observe, you become grounded, solid. You might feel the anger rise, but you let it pass like a wave. You might feel the urge to snap back, but you take a breath instead. You're not suppressing. You're choosing, and there's a big difference. Let's bring this into the real world. You're stuck in traffic, running late. You've got two options. Option A. You stew in frustration. You grip the wheel tighter. You curse the situation. You arrive flustered, tense, and drained. Option B. You recognize the truth. The traffic is what it is. My stress won't change it. You turn on some calming music. You use the time to think or maybe even breathe a little slower. You arrive clear-headed not because the situation changed, but because you did. Same situation, different story. Thinking they hate you or assuming the worst. You pause. You ask, "Is this worth my peace?" You don't have to reply right away. You don't even have to carry the weight of it. You're allowed to protect your energy. That's what owning your reactions looks like. It's not a one-time decision. It's a practice. Every day. In small moments. The email that frustrates you. The change in plans. The passive-aggressive comment. The thought spiral about something that hasn't even happened yet. Each one is a doorway. You can walk through it like you always have, reactively. Or you can stop at the threshold, take a breath, and ask, do I want to give this my peace or do I want to keep it? You start to realize you're not at the mercy of everything anymore. And yeah, it takes practice. It takes failing a few times. It takes noticing the reaction after it's already happened and going, okay, next time I'll do better. That's progress. And over time, you build something unshakable. People might still act out. Bad news might still come. Life will still throw punches. But your response, that's yours now. That's where your freedom lives. That's, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Marcus knew, we can't escape difficulty, but we can stop letting difficulty decide who we are. That's step one. Own your reactions. Before we try to control the world, we need to learn how to control our own internal weather. The wind will always blow, but you get to decide if you're carried by it, or if you become the stillness inside the storm. Step 2. Practice presence, not panic. How often have you been here, not in this moment, but somewhere in the future, running scenarios, expecting the worst, bracing for something that hasn't even happened? And meanwhile, life, real life, is quietly unfolding in front of you, and you're missing it. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He's right. Most of our pain doesn't come from the thing itself. It comes from what we think might happen. It's the story we play on a loop, the one where things fall apart, where we fail, where people leave, where the worst-case scenario somehow becomes inevitable. But here's the truth. Most of those things, they never even happen, and if they do, you'll be stronger than you think when they arrive. Anxiety loves to live in the future. It feeds on what-ifs. It needs your attention like fuel. But presence cuts the cord. It brings you back to the ground under your feet, back to your breath, back to what's actually real. That's not just meditation talk. It's not just some soft idea for peaceful monks and yoga classes. It's a Stoic weapon. It's a strategy. Because when you're here, truly here, your mind quiets, your instincts sharpen, you stop running, and you start responding. Let's make this real. You're waiting for test results, your mind starts spinning. What if it's bad? What if it changes everything? What if I can't handle it? Now pause, check in. Are you suffering because of the result? Or are you suffering because of what you imagine it might be? 9 times out of 10, the pain isn't in the result. It's in the anticipation. It's the fear, the tension, the what-if carousel you can't seem to step off of. So step off. Right now, take one breath. Feel it move in, then out. That's presence. That's power. You can't breathe in the future. You can't move from 10 minutes from now. You can only move from here. Let's go further. You get a text that feels off. No punctuation, short tone. Your brain fills in the blanks. They're mad. They're pulling away. Something's wrong. But nothing's happened yet. You've just built a narrative, and that narrative is now controlling your peace. Presence would say, take a breath, don't jump, don't spiral, wait and see. You don't have to react to shadows. Stoics didn't waste their energy on phantoms. They grounded themselves in what was actually real, and more often than not, what's real isn't nearly as terrifying. You're not being chased. You're not under attack. You're sitting, breathing, watching this video. That's the moment you're in. So, how do you practice presence? How do you train your mind not to panic? It's simple, not easy, but simple. First, slow down. Slowness brings awareness. Panic lives in speed. It wants you to rush, to react, to jump to conclusions. But when you slow your breath, slow your steps, slow your mind, clarity comes back. Second, notice. Notice when your thoughts start dragging you into imagined pain. Name it. You don't have to judge it, just catch it. Oh, my brain's creating stories again, that's okay, I don't have to follow. That moment right there, that's the split between suffering and peace. Third, return. Return to now. Look at your hands. Feel the texture of whatever you're holding. Sip your drink slowly. Feel the temperature, the steam, the simplicity of just being here. These are anchors, and you can drop them anytime the storm starts. It's like this. You're standing on a riverbank. Your thoughts are the current. They'll try to pull you in, take you down, show you scenes that haven't even happened. Presence is you choosing to stay on the bank, to watch the water pass without jumping in. And when the panic calls again, and it will, you breathe, you anchor, you stay. That's not weakness, that's mastery. You're rewiring your default. You're not escaping life. You're finally stepping into it. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca was pointing out the trap. Most people live in fear of a movie that never even plays. Stoics don't do that. They deal with what is, not what might be. They move from facts, not forecasts, from grounded action, not emotional guesses. That's the shift, from worry to awareness, from noise to now. So the next time your chest tightens, ask yourself, am I reacting to reality or to a thought about reality? That one question can reset everything. Because peace isn't about escaping the world, it's about facing it, fully present, fully awake, and fully here. Step 3. Focus on what you control. Life is always asking you to choose your battles. And Stoicism? It just hands you the answer. Choose the ones you can win, the ones you actually have power over. Let the rest pass by. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." It sounds simple, but in real life, it's hard. Because most of us are used to fighting things we have no control over. We try to control people's opinions, the weather, traffic, algorithms, our past, our future, all things we can't grab. And every time we try, we waste energy. Mental energy, emotional energy, spiritual energy. Gone. But what if you stopped fighting battles that aren't yours? Think about this. You can't control the rain, but you can bring an umbrella. You can't stop the storm, but you can prepare for it, dress for it, move with it. Control is not about bending the world to your will. It's about owning your response to the world. That's where your power is. Let's bring this home. Say your train is late. You're stuck. You're watching the clock, getting stressed, mentally spiraling about being late to work. Pause. Can you make the train arrive faster? No. Can you control whether it's raining, whether your coworker shows up grumpy, whether someone cuts you off in traffic? No. What you can control, how you show up, what you say, how you carry yourself, how you breathe through the delay, whether you complain or stay calm. That's yours. That's the circle you live in. And once you start focusing on that, life gets clearer, because all of a sudden you're not a victim of every little inconvenience. You become someone who adapts, someone who holds their own no matter what happens. Let me give you a phrase. Protect your energy. When you try to control things that are outside of you, you leak energy. It's like trying to hold the ocean back with your bare hands. You can't. But when you focus on your own boat, your own steering wheel, you can navigate that ocean. Maybe not perfectly, but with power. And look, this doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you go cold or check out of life. It means you stop trying to micromanage the world and instead you manage yourself. Start small. Pick 3 things today that are fully in your control. Not, I want to be happy, but I can go for a 10-minute walk. Not, I want everyone to like me, but I'll speak with kindness. Not, I hope nothing goes wrong, but I'll breathe and stay grounded when it does. Those are power moves. Because they're rooted in you. They don't depend on anyone else's behavior or approval or timing. They live in your choices, your effort, your mindset. Now think about this. How many times do you waste energy on things that aren't yours? How often do you scroll, doom spiral, replay old arguments, try to change outcomes that already happened? And how much lighter would you feel if you just stopped? The Stoics were masters at this. They didn't believe in getting flustered about what they couldn't reach. They believed in making the best use of what they could, and the results? They stayed calm under pressure. They were unshaken by chaos, not because life was easy, but because they had learned where to place their energy. So here's the shift. You don't have to control the storm. You just have to stay anchored in it. And that anchor is you, your decisions, your effort, your attitude, your focus. The next time something doesn't go your way, a plan falls through, someone disappoints you, the outcome isn't what you wanted, ask yourself, what's still mine to control? And then focus on that, because that's your zone of power. Everything else, let it be. Let it move. Let it pass. You're not here to control the weather. You're here to carry your umbrella and keep walking. In a noisy, unpredictable world, Stoicism won't magically erase problems. It won't stop hard things from happening. And it's not about pretending to be unaffected, but it does give you something far more powerful, the ability to stand grounded in the middle of it all. You just practice that through 3 simple steps. Not flashy, not complicated, but quietly radical. First, owning your reactions. Recognizing that the world will always be chaotic, but your mind doesn't have to be. That every moment gives you a chance to respond with intention instead of impulse. Then, practicing presence. Stepping out of the imagined disasters of tomorrow and coming fully into what's actually real. Because this moment, this breath, is the only place your power lives. And finally, focusing only on what you control. Letting go of the battles that aren't yours to fight and choosing instead to direct your time, energy, and attention toward what's actually in your hands. That's Stoicism. Not perfection, not cold detachment, not never feel anything, but clear, steady, deliberate strength. And the beauty of it is, you don't have to master it overnight, you just have to start. A little more awareness, a little more stillness, a little less reactivity, each day, bit by bit. So if any one of these steps gave you a shift today, if even one quote made you pause and think, I'd love to know which one landed with you most. Drop it in the comments. I'll be reading. And if you want more of this kind of calm focus in your feed, more ancient wisdom minus the fluff, go ahead and subscribe. Like the video. Stick around. We're just getting started.